What's up, everybody? Welcome to the fourth episode of She's Got Game. So today I'm here with pro hooper and former player for last year's LSB season, Kenetria Redfern. So how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a long time since we spoke.
I know you're a star at this point. I'm seeing all your stuff on YouTube. You are really doing it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm really glad you were able to join the podcast. So let's get started. So we're gonna talk about your journey and stuff like that. So initially, what got you started with basketball, like in the first place?
I think I come from a basketball family, so my mom actually played Division One basketball.
Wow.
My dad was a basketball coach for a while, and my brother's like the top trainer in like Buffalo, New York right now. So
Wow.
kind of just like forced me to like take the ball at like three, and
Mhm.
I think I just kind of fell in love with it from there, and it kind of just skyrocketed from there.
Yeah, well, you got all the access in the family then. You got the
Yeah, pretty
training, you got
much.
the D1 experience. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's really different for moms to be playing too. You don't really see that usually. It's like the dad or something like that, the guys in the family. But that's
I
really
know,
cool.
believe it or not, my mom was like a star. Like
Really?
she doesn't like to talk about it much, but like I've seen her film and she was a star.
Wow,
Like
that's
if we
really
had to
good.
play 1-on-1, she probably would cook me for real. Um,
Really?
oh, she
She's still
does
hooping like that?
not anymore, but like she's really competitive. So like little stuff. Like I don't think she let me win a race until I was like 13, 14. And by
Wow.
that point I think I actually won. So
Wow, that's really good. It's really a different story, but that's really good to hear. So, since you came from the family and it kind of like everybody took it serious to a certain extent, was there a point where you realized that you wanted to take the sport seriously, or was it always kind of like that?
yeah, so my brother, like I said, he's a trainer. So he was training me until I turned probably around like 9 or 10. And
Mhm.
then we got into like this really big fight over something stupid. So he stopped training me for like 7, 8 years straight.
Dang.
Um, and I was, um, yeah, he stopped training me for probably like 9 years straight. And then when I turned like 14, 15, I had like transferred to a private school and I realized that like people were actually really good at basketball and I needed to like step my skills up. And
Hmm.
at that point, I like reached out to him desperately, like, hey, I kind of need you. And from there, that's when I started like really taking it serious.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, and I mean, that's good that y'all got back in contact and everything and you were able to train because look at you now. I mean, that's
Yeah,
good. That's really good. So, did you end up playing AAU at any age or in your career?
I did. I was a really late bloomer, so I didn't start playing AAU until I was like a sophomore. I didn't know what AAU was until I turned like 15, 16.
Wow.
Basically way too late. So by the time I figured out what it was, I kind of just got thrown into like, the bigger tournaments like
Hmm.
Battle of the Borough, the Rose Classics. So I just got on like a team and went out there and I'm like, I really had no idea there were like a billion basketball players in the world. Honestly, I don't even think I realized people had different area codes at that point in my life. Um, so when I got out there, I was like, wow. So I only got to play AU for maybe like a season or two,
Mm.
maybe, if that. Um, so yeah, no, barely.
Yeah, I can relate to that because that's kind of how I was. In Costa Rica, they don't have AAU. So I played like
Mhm.
in Texas for maybe a year, but I know exactly what you mean. So,
And it's tough because I think like the younger generations now they have so much access to like the internet and like all these people who like are paving the way. So
hmm.
like they really just have to follow in the footsteps, really. And
Really,
I think
yeah.
it's really cool for the younger generation because they're going to be so much better than what like my generation was because of the access that they have.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff being developed. Like, I don't know if you've seen the overtime league for girls, like that's going to be happening in
Mm-hmm.
the summer. So there's so much stuff like being built. So not only my generation, but the generations after that, there's going to be like so much opportunity for them. It's just
And it's
hard
crazy
work.
because I think you're like what, a sophomore?
Hmm.
Like you have your own YouTube channel, like you're all over the place. And it's like in like 5 years, I don't think my mind can actually comprehend where you'll be in 5 years because you're gonna be that far above where everybody else is.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
So I want you to, so I know you played in college, a few different places. So walk me through the process of you being able to play in college and where you ended up playing.
Oh, to be God be the glory that I even got to play in college because I think the percentage is like point like 2% of people even get to play after high school,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is kind of an insane number. Going to college, I first went to a D2 in North Carolina, Livingstone College. Straight out of high school, I got a scholarship because at the end of the season, like they fire coaches and they hire coaches right away. So the Livingstone coach, I think she either left or got fired or something. So the new coach they brought in was like scattering for players, and she stumbled across me. It was my brother's alma mater too, so I flew out there, did a workout, and then she offered me a full scholarship on the spot. So I was her only freshman that year. But because it wasn't her entire recruiting class, it was like a mix of a bunch of people. So it wasn't a great mix, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, I just ended up leaving, and then I went junior college because out of high school, a bunch of junior colleges wanted me, along with a bunch of like D3s and just schools that I didn't want to go to, quote unquote. I guess I should have just went, but so I went to one of the junior colleges that was recruiting me out of high school initially, and I stayed there for 2 years. I redshirted 1 year, and then that second year, because with junior college, you only get 2 years to like get out of there. So I only had one season to play and get out and get a scholarship. So I had one season in junior college to really like make something shake for myself. And after that, I don't even remember at this point, but got like a whole bunch of accolades, a whole bunch of stats and stuff. I ended up going Division 1 out of there. Um, and then I went to a Division 1 Maryland Eastern Shore, and it worked out perfectly in my favor. Like, and that's how I know God was like walking with me the whole time because
Mm-hmm.
it was so ironic. Out of junior college, I had two D1 offers, one from Murray State, and that was when John Morant had first got drafted, so it was like a really big deal. So when
Wow.
I got on my visit, I was like John Morant was just here, like he just left. But I really wanted to go to HBCU, so I went to Maryland Eastern Shore, and the head coach ended up being from like my hometown. He ended up going to middle school with my mom, so it was like, oh wow, like cool.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately didn't like that. There's a lot of stuff they don't tell you in the recruiting process,
Mm-hmm.
that you just kind of figure out the hard way. And then I went to an NAIA my senior year to play, which was an NAIA that was recruiting me out of junior college. So I kind of just circled back around.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably the most fun I had in college at that NAIA. So kids are like, oh, I don't want to play NAIA because like I want to do this, that, and the third. Just take whoever wants you.
Yeah. And I hear that from a lot of other women, like in college, recruiting, even in like overseas, they kind of make it sound like, oh, we're going to do this for you, we're going to do that for you. And it's not always what it seems. So
Not
it's,
at all.
yeah,
Not at all.
that's good to hear from someone like me who kind of hasn't gotten into that process yet. So, yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about that. So, but I'm glad that you're able to kind of go up and you said your senior year was like a blast for you. So that's
Yeah.
good that everything kind of turned around for you.
Yeah, definitely because it was rough. And especially when you don't have like people in your corner that really know what's going on or like don't
Hmm.
know like the sales pitch and stuff like that. You kind of just figuring out for your own and
Hmm.
trial and error.
Yeah. So how was it like the experience with playing? So how did that go? I know you said you had like a lot of accolades out of junior college and stuff like that. So how was that experience, not only attending, but like the playing part?
In junior college or like in
Just
general.
in general.
I had playing was okay. Um, I think in junior college, I really got to like be a star, really.
Hmm.
So that was a lot of fun. We won a championship. I think we went 31-0 for the regular season,
Wow.
and we had like the first national. What is it? The when you go to like the championship or whatever, the
Hmm.
nationals, the first national appearance in like
Hmm.
school history. So that was like
Wow.
really cool. And then everybody that I was playing with, we all ended up going on like Division 1, Division 2, like high level basketball afterwards. So
Hmm.
that was pretty awesome. When I played Division 1, it was okay because I think they don't tell people this, but like a lot of people that go like Division 1, especially like straight out of high school, um they get kind of complacent, I think, my opinion, but I think they get kind of complacent to where like as a junior college player coming into a Division 1 school, I was like, oh, I gotta kill everybody. Like I gotta make a name for myself versus these people who have been there for 2, 3 years. They're like, oh yeah, basketball's cool, but I already have a 4-year scholarship, so it doesn't matter. So I
Dang.
had some people on my team who like literally didn't touch a basketball in the off season. Like when the season was over, they're like, ugh, no, like get me out of here. So going into that was kind of tough because like everybody's levels were different, similar to like being overseas. Like everybody's like commitment was different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and at my D2, I just had a lot of fun. Really, I had a lot of fun, but the coaching wasn't my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it helped mold me mentally moving forward. Like it helped me get really tough skin. So now, like, I'm, yeah, I'm, I'm good. And I really thank my first school for that because I think I was really soft going into college and not
Mm-hmm.
even realizing it. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
That's crazy to hear you talk about the Division 1, how they kind of don't touch the ball in the off season and kind of just take the fact that they have a scholarship. Because I never really thought of that. Because I don't know the process, but I don't see people kind of, you can't like get cut like it is in overseas if you're not performing at a certain level. So I never really thought of that. But that's crazy to hear. Like you worked
It
all
kind
your
of
life to get to this
depends.
point. Like,
Yeah. It kind of depends because some schools, I don't really know the details of it, but
mhm.
some schools, they do like year to year contracts. So like at the end of the season, you can't get cut. And some schools, they just sign you for 4 years straight on the spot. So I think the players I was playing with already had their 4 years like locked in. So they were just like,
Whatever.
it's okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I guess in hindsight, sorry,
No, you're good again.
I guess in hindsight, it kind of makes sense because like, in the middle of college, I think where a lot of girls realize they're not going to the WNBA,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of like really settles in, like, okay, only 0.1% of people make it to the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, like I've been putting in a billion hours for no reason. Like, who cares anymore? And everything's paid for. So like I can understand where they're coming from, but it still sucks when you're the one taking basketball really seriously.
Mm-hmm. But that's crazy because like I feel like not a lot of people know enough that overseas is an option as well, as far as playing
Mm-hmm.
professionally in basketball. And like WNBA players, they go overseas. They play in these leagues in the off season. So it's like WNBA. And then not only that, but when you get to the WNBA, you have to work on staying there because after training camp, like a lot of people
Yeah.
get cut. You see a lot of people. So I wonder how it's gonna look like this year, but it's kind of a recurring thing. Like,
Yeah. I'm interested to see. A girl from Rochester got drafted a couple years ago, which is like nearby, probably an hour away from Buffalo.
mhm.
She was probably averaging the most in the NCAA, and she got drafted like 20 something, and she got cut, and everybody was like, "What's going on?" Or like Alexis Morris, I think, from
Mhm.
LSU last year,
Yep.
like just fresh off a championship, and then gets waived during training camp, and it's like, wow. So I do think a lot of it is politics.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Because there's so many skilled girls like you got
Yeah.
in the draft. Like what? Plus, it's like budget cuts and stuff like that. All the other political stuff. So yeah. So I know you told me you ended up getting like your master's in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So so what? Why? Like, how did you end up studying in Italy?
The school I was studying at, they were like an upcoming school. So I think they might have reached out to me on like Instagram or LinkedIn or something. I was like, hey, like we have scholarships available. If you come study at our school, you can also play professional basketball at the same time.
Wow.
So I got a scholarship and went out there, and that's how I ended up playing my first year overseas.
Hmm.
And so I got my master's in sports management, and they had their programs like really intertwined with like European sports. So they would have like FIBA directors and stuff come into our classes and speak. And I'm pretty
Wow.
sure one girl, after she finished the program, she got like a job offer from the Cubs. Oh, yeah, it was kind of crazy. Uh, but I know I wanted to play professional basketball, so I wasn't too caught up in that stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, they offered a lot of really great opportunities out of that program. And my first contract. So
Yeah, that's really good to hear. That's an opportunity that not a lot of people get to kind of be a part of, especially going to school in a completely different country. That sounds really
Yeah.
cool. So, what were some major differences you were able to see between like going to school in the US and then going to school in Italy?
Well, all my teachers were Italian,
Hmm.
so they spoke English as a second language. So off rip, the language barrier was like super tough.
Hmm.
Because their accents were like super thick. So some words it'd be like, huh? Like, did you guys get that? Um, and I think the learning style, they just moved really, really fast.
Hmm.
So, and this was like the year after COVID, I believe. So everybody was still like coming back from the social distancing. So sometimes the teachers would be wearing masks. So it'd be like, what is going on?
Hmm.
Um, but I think overall, I think it was a really good learning environment, but it took a lot of getting used to, a lot of
Hmm.
getting used to.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to it to a certain extent because I was in like international schools here, and then English is like some of the teachers' second language, and then again like the speed, and it's like what are like everybody else speaks Spanish, but like I just got here, I
Oh,
don't really know like
oh yeah. How's your Spanish coming along?
it's pretty good. Like I'm not really struggling like I've kind of just made it sound like I've been learning a lot and I mean my family is from DR, so a lot of them don't speak English. So I
Oh
kind of
yeah,
got
your
like the
mom is
accent.
Dominican. It's from the
Hmm.
Dominican Republic, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, so my Spanish, I'm not fluent yet, but I can kind of get by right now.
2 years and you're not fluent? Come
No.
on.
I mean, I don't know.
You're just there for basketball.
Almost, almost. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You just give me the ball. So what was that? So I know you went to school and everything, and you said you were able to play professionally there. What was that experience like with it being your first experience?
It was a culture shock, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, because in Europe they're like extremely physical,
Hmm.
and like with the physicality, the refs don't call anything either. So like you can literally get like hammered in the air, and the ref will just be like, "Play harder." Um, like it's actually crazy, and I
Wow.
think they're in way better shape, or maybe I just was never in shape. I don't know at this point, but I know when I left Italy, I was probably in the best shape of my life. And it's funny because I'm not like super athletic. Like I don't jump super high. Like I'm
Hmm.
not super quick. But like watching the film, you can't tell how athletic I actually was. But I had gotten like so in shape. I think I was probably jumping the highest I've ever jumped in my career. Um, just because practices were like a freaking war zone.
Really?
Um, yes. Like I
Wow.
would leave practices like with bandages on my face, like limping. Practices were crazy. We would like warm up for probably like 10 minutes to like a little baby 3-man weave, and then we would play 5-on-5 full court for 2 hours straight, picking
Wow.
up full court, like, and it just wasn't even like no games were played ever.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it was like a super competitive environment. And it really prepared me for the games too, because like in the games, that's how they were.
Hmm.
Um, I just super in shape, super physical. So by the time I got to the games, like, and I was getting hammered, it was like I get hammered every day. It's fine.
Yeah, that's good to know because for me, I'd like to play in Europe and those places like that. But to know, kind of mentally get prepared for stuff like that,
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy to hear.
it was tough because my point guard, I think she was like 15, 16. She was
Mm,
an import from I think Senegal, maybe
really? Wow.
someplace in Africa, and she was just so athletic, so like bouncy, like,
Hmm.
and she just was like pew, 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 and just never stopped ever. And it was like a literal nightmare in practice.
Really?
And
Wow.
it was so, for I guess it's good because like you're getting better, but like when I would see her friends, just like, oh, okay, okay, lock in today. You gotta be for real.
Hmm. Wow, I didn't know they were importing girls my age. I better get ready,
Mm,
get me an
it,
agent or something.
yeah, it was her and her two sisters. She was
Hmm.
like 5'8", I think, and her two sisters were both like 6'4". And
Wow.
the two sisters are actually playing in the top league in Italy now.
Mm.
I forgot the team, but they're both like high level now. And
Oh.
it's so cool because I'm like, I played with you guys when you guys didn't know anything.
Hmm. Yeah, remember me. Yup. That's really good to hear. I never really thought of that because I knew there were like girls my age like playing on the pro teams, but it's usually like because they're from that country or something like that. But I never heard about them being imported and stuff like that. So I better
Mm-hmm.
get ready.
Yeah. And I think with that, like a lot of, especially like college and going pro, all of it is about who you know, networking, like a
Hmm.
friend of a friend of a friend. I think I got my contract in Costa Rica from my best friend's ex-girlfriend. And
Oh.
like, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. So, do you see yourself playing in a different country anytime
Yeah,
soon?
absolutely. Well, I actually tore my Achilles back in
Really?
February. I fully ruptured my Achilles back in February. And I think March, April, May. I'm in like month 2.5. So I just started walking again. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So hopefully like by the end of the year, next year, like I said, it's all about who you know. So I have a lot of connects that, just really get contract offers. I had my homeboy call me the other day, like, hey, do you know anybody who wants to play in Australia? And I'm like, let me get back to you on that. So offers
Wow.
are always like open depending on who you know. So hopefully when I'm fully healed and everything, I am ready to go because America
Mhm.
is not
Mm-mm.
the
It's
move.
not
It's
it.
not
Mm-mm.
not at all.
Uh-uh. So how did you rupture your Achilles? Were you playing or were you training or
Girl, just playing 2-on-2 at the gym.
really?
Hmm.
Wow.
And kind of like just pushing my body past that point of exhaustion. I think as athletes, we kind of just tell ourselves like, oh, just keep going, like push when you're tired. And especially as I'm getting older, not being as mindful as like, hey, you actually need to chill. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it was one of those moments where my body was like, hey, you need to sit down. And I'm like, the competitiveness in me was like, we just played 2 games, 2-on-2. We might as well play the third one, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
tiebreaker, duh.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving past somebody and it felt like somebody kicked me in the back of the leg. I looked up like, why did you do that? And she was like, I didn't touch you. And I'm like, that's not good.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you a really fast recovery though.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's super tough being injured in sports, especially like when you're getting ready for something or training for something. I can
I
definitely
think that
understand
was the
that.
worst part. That was definitely the worst part because I was getting ready to try to get a contract in Australia. So I had just started like shooting out emails and texts and like reaching out to people to try to get the contract. And the next day, I tore my Achilles. Yeah, but I do believe everything happens for a reason,
Yeah, of
and that
course.
God is very intentional, and He's been
Hmm.
working on me. So no complaints, really.
Yeah. Watch, like a few months from now, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's why that happened," and then
Yeah,
like it's all like mental preparation and everything like that. It always works
yeah,
out. So,
always.
hmm so I know you said you were able to go to come to Costa Rica through like connects and stuff like that. So, how was your experience here?
Oof. Um,
Be honest with me now.
it was interesting. I
Hmm.
think it definitely like I said, I played at all levels. I played D2, D1, NAIA, JUCO. But I've always played within my position, within my role. And being in Costa Rica, they actually had me be a point guard for the first
Hmm.
time in my life. I've always been like an off guard. Like I can give the point guard a break here and there. Like, oh,
Hmm.
she's getting pressure, she's tired. So 2 possessions on the ball and then like have the point guard come back. My team needed me to be a full point guard, like every possession, 40 minutes, 45 minutes if we went to OT. So it was really hard. I struggled like tremendously
Hmm.
because not only was I playing a different position, but I had to be a leader
Hmm.
on a team where like girls aren't really showing up. Some people feel entitled to time. We
Hmm.
had coaching changes halfway through the season. So all of this is going on around me, and I'm like trying to figure out how to be a point guard and not turn the ball over.
Hmm.
So it was a real like reality check for me. Like I am only 5'7", 5'8", 5'9" on a good day.
Hmm.
Um, so it was a lot of growing pains, a lot of growing pains. I would say that.
Yeah, even I was talking to Chanel in a few interviews back, and she was saying it's definitely different whenever it's your first year overseas or for you your second. But just going to a new country in general, you kind of have to take in the role, especially being a recruit, American recruit. They kind of look at you like, oh, you're supposed to be doing this, that, and third, and yeah,
It's
so I
so funny because at one point Chanel Chanel got injured during like
really,
the season. I
uh-huh.
forgot what was wrong. And she ended up like running practice. Like our coach was like on the sideline. She was like, you know what, guys? All right, layup lines. And she like really took initiative and like just ran practice. And it
Mm-hmm.
was really good playing with someone of her stature because I think she's a really good program kid. I know she played at Brooklyn College. She was like Miss D3 American of the World or something crazy like that.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't, her stats were crazy at college, but she
Mm-hmm.
came in and because I was struggling mentally with like learning this point guard role and what my team needed me to be, she stepped up tremendously and kind of picked up where I was lacking. So her leadership really, we didn't get that far, but it made us
Mm-hmm.
be who we were at that point. So shout out to her.
Yeah, for real. It's really good to have a teammate like that, especially another American on the team you can kind of talk to, relate to, and stuff like that. So I think that really plays a part in like your career and your performance in general. I think having somebody
Yeah,
else there.
yeah, she definitely kept held me accountable. Uh,
Yeah, that's good. Well, both of y'all made it to the All-Star game, and that was really good. So let's talk about that. What was
oh
your, I
yeah.
know you dropped 30. You got the MVP and everything.
Yeah, I did. And it's so funny because after the game, Chanel came up to me and was like, I know you're gonna say like she was like, why don't you play this all the time? And I'm like, dude, you know I'm not a point guard. And in the All-Star game, we were playing with like just all the best players in the league, basically. So I
Hmm.
got to just be free and like run the wing. I didn't have to rebound. And like that pressure was just off of me. So
Hmm.
like I'm leaking out for layups and like just taking open threes. Um and I'll be honest with you. Before the game, like the day before the game, they had picked people for the 3-point contest and I think the skills contest.
Hmm.
And I was a little sad because I didn't get picked for either one of them.
Hmm.
Um, so I went home and I talked to God and I'm like, God, no, like that really hurt my feelings. That sucked. And then I called my brother and my brother was like, well, whoever goes out there and plays like they want All-Star MVP gets All-Star MVP. And from that second on, like I like switched this gear in my brain and was like, I'm going to kill everybody.
Hmm.
And when I got there, like there was, I don't know if you saw, I didn't really pass the ball too much.
Hey, get
I'm
yours,
like,
get yours.
this is my day.
Hmm.
But not really, but it just happened that the ball just dropped for me really well, like early that game.
Hmm.
And once things started flowing, like playing with great people, like great teammates, I don't like having you on a team, like people who spoke English.
Hmm.
It made things go really smoothly, very
Uh-huh.
smoothly.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, but then it also kind of sucked when like it was over because I'm like, oh man, like back to reality. Like
Hmm. Back
this
to
really
point
isn't my
guard.
team. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, that's good to hear, like your mentality when going into it. Because like even I don't know if you've seen like all over Instagram, like Anthony Edwards just said the same thing. Like I'm just gonna go out there and kill everybody. So it's definitely
Mhm.
a good mentality to have, and like not everybody has it. A lot of people are kind of like, I guess you can say some people call people cocky or whatever, but then again,
Mhm.
a lot of people are just too nice on the court. So like
Yeah,
it's basketball, it's like war. So you kind of have to have like grit and like get yours.
it literally.
Hmm.
Especially like being overseas where like they expect all of this stuff out of Americans. Like if you don't have that switch to just like turn it on, like you will get sent home in December.
Hmm.
Like, and it
Yeah.
sucks, but like it's a business first. So if you're
Hmm.
not producing, like they'll bring somebody else in again.
Exactly. Yeah. So did you, so I know you played college in the US and then you played in Italy and then you played here in Costa Rica. So how did those kind of playing styles kind of differentiate and how were you able to like adapt from each level to the next?
Um, I think adapting to playing Division 1 basketball was probably the hardest thing because
Hmm.
I didn't realize how much structure went into playing Division 1 basketball. Like I think a lot of people think like, oh, like she's good or she's athletic. Like obviously she can play D1 ball, but a lot of it it's kind of like chess.
Hmm.
Like who's setting the screen at the right angle at the right time. And that's something I didn't understand going in. Like I could just score at will, and like I thought that was enough. So
Mhm.
that was the biggest culture shock. And they say it takes an entire season, like in college, for the average player, it takes an entire season to adapt to a program. And it took me an entire season
Mhm.
because like every little deep minuscule of a detail was like, no, that's wrong. And I just didn't get it for the life of me. Versus
Mhm.
like a lot of the other programs, even being overseas, it's like just get a bucket, just
Mhm.
rock out, get a bucket. Um, in Italy, like because I was the only American on my team, they would just run like this Iverson screen for me, and I would just come off two screens. It'd be 1-on-1 ISO, like just me pick and roll.
Mhm.
So it's like really just living the dream. Um,
Uh-huh.
in AI, it was kind of the same thing. The coach was like, get it up the floor. Whoever gets it, go score.
Mhm.
D2, same thing. Um, and junior college, pretty much same thing.
Mhm.
So playing Division 1, I think it's a lot. It's way more mental than it is physical, and that's the biggest thing I've noticed. And this last year, before I got to Costa Rica, I was coaching Division 2,
Mhm.
and yeah, I was a coach for a season too.
Wow.
And you said what?
I was gonna ask you how was that, but keep going with what you were saying.
Being a coach helped me like watch the game from a different perspective. And I
Mhm.
used to think like my coaches when I played D1 ball was tripping, like it doesn't matter who set the screen that way, like who cares?
Mhm.
And while I was coaching from the sideline, I'm like, it 100% absolutely matters. It matters.
Wow.
That screen that you set wrong 2 minutes into the first quarter, it matters, and that's why you got benched.
Wow.
It's- yeah, but coaching, it was interesting. I learned a
Mhm.
lot. I'm realizing that life, you just never stop learning, and I hope to continue to learn, like as I
Mhm.
continue to get older. Um, it was really interesting because I got to work under my head coach. She was a overseas vet, so her
Mhm.
knowledge of the game was just like, and I'm like, I never even thought of that. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Um, and it really just helped me see the game from a different standpoint and like mentoring girls. And I'm in my mid 20s, so in my mind, like I'm still a kid a little bit.
Mhm.
So having like 19 to 20 year olds like, coach, did you see that play? Like, what should I have done? I'm like, are you asking me? Oh, oh yeah, I'm in charge. Okay, yeah, yeah, got you. So it was definitely an adjustment to realize like I'm in charge, like I'm running practice. But I
Mhm.
learned a lot. And thankfully I got my master's. And like I said earlier, like God does things and you find out later why. So at
Mhm.
first I'm like, master's in sports management, like, yeah, whatever. But then when I became an assistant coach, I'm like, oh, this is all the stuff I learned in class, like how
Mhm.
to make a practice plan, how to be tactical versus technical. So it all kind of just ties together. It tied together really well for me. And we ended up winning a championship my first year. So that was really cool too. Um,
Wow.
yeah.
That's good. And yeah, like you said, it's all ties together because not only were you able to coach, but you were able to kind of learn, like you said, from the coach's standpoint, from outside of the game, like how it matters, who does what, when, and all of the above. So I think that's really,
Mm.
really, really good. Especially when you said the head coach was an overseas vet. That's like perfect. Like you kind
Yeah,
of ask her.
it completely worked in my favor because when I went to Costa Rica, I ended up signing with her old agent, which is like one of the top agents in like Germany or something.
Mm,
And so God has really been blessing me. So no complaints, no
yeah.
complaints at all. But the workload I can say as a coach is insane. Whoever's watching this, give your coaches more credit, please. Um, I think especially in college, like you don't think about like where your meals come from or like who washes the jerseys. I was staying until like midnight washing jerseys, putting together film pieces, and like just for the kids coming in and like not pay attention. And I'm like, ugh, like I was up till 1 in the morning. Watch this scout,
Hmm.
please.
Wow. Yeah, I
But
never
even my
thought
eye
of
for
that.
detail has changed because like I never not gonna say I never watched film, but I never paid attention the way I had to pay attention when I was the one making the film.
Hmm.
So yeah, entirely different lens.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. That's really good to hear because like we're getting all different perspectives right now from the player, from the coach, from the outside, watching the films. Like that's great. Definitely
Yeah.
great to hear. Yeah. So last part of the interview, we're gonna do some speed questions to kind of get to know you a little bit better as a player. All right, so
Okay.
you ready? All right. So question number one is just your go-to pregame song.
Oh, I am a Jesus lover, so I play gospel all throughout my pregame.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so my favorite would probably King Jesus by I think his name is KB. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It gets me in a grateful spirit. Like at least I'm here, right? Some
Mm-hmm.
people would die for the opportunity to just be overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets me in good spirits for sure.
That's good. And it's definitely good having that mentality because I've seen like firsthand, like a lot of people kind of take the opportunity for granted playing overseas or wherever they're playing. Like they take it for granted and then they kind of figure out later on, like, oh, I should have taken that seriously or I should have done this and done that. So that's good.
It's so funny you say that because like I said, I had a homeboy call me like, "Hey, do you know anybody who wants to play in Australia?"
Hmm.
And he said that he had offered it to his ex-girlfriend before he called me. And she was like, you know what? Like, it's fine. I'm sure another opportunity will come. And I'm like, um, they're uh,
Yeah.
especially at first contract, you kind of gotta just get in where you fit in, especially depending on the level you played at and stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well,
No. That opportunity, that's like next opportunity is gonna come after that Australian season. Like
um,
you gotta work, you gotta show something.
yeah, I'm like, her loss. I'm not in the business of convincing anybody on how they
Hmm.
missed out. So,
Yep, it's still you. Yep. All right, so next question is gonna be your favorite hoop shoes at the moment.
with a torn Achilles, honestly, like,
Yeah. Maybe the
um,
nicest ones you've seen.
um, before I tore my Achilles, I was wearing Paul George's. I like his shoe a lot because they're very comfy, and I kind of got weird feet, so I have to wear like insoles and stuff and a cushion. So I think Paul George, he makes a really good shoe.
Hmm.
I heard the Sabrina Ionescu's are really good, so when I'm back up and at them, I'm looking forward to trying those.
Hmm.
But when I won All-Star MVP, they gave me like these sneakers. I think they were like KD's. Those are the
Really?
ones I tore my Achilles in, so we're just gonna
Oh,
toss those.
yeah.
Yeah,
Set you up on that one.
definitely. I was like,
Dang. I didn't know they give out sneakers.
yeah, they gave me a pair of sneakers, a trophy, a WNBA t-shirt,
Hmm.
um, and some more stuff. But it was so cool because I that was actually the first All-Star game I've ever played in like in my life.
Hmm.
Like high school, college, even just like rec ball. So
Hmm.
like I've never gotten chosen for anything. I've kind of been an underdog my whole career.
Hmm.
So I was like on cloud a billion in that moment.
Yeah, that's good. That I mean, yeah, I remember like everybody was like, ah, after the
Yeah.
game. I was like, dang, because didn't know. Like I know you were scoring a lot, but I didn't know until I like got to Instagram like after the event. It's like, dang, she dropped 30. That's crazy. But that's
I didn't
really,
even
really
know it was
good.
30 until you just said that. I knew like somewhere in the third quarter, I'm like, Dad, I've been scoring a lot. Like, I
Uh-huh.
don't think I've missed too much. And then
Hmm.
towards the end, I kind of looked up at the scoreboard, like, oh shoot, like, okay, like I think I'm in this.
Yeah, that's good though. I'm really happy for you on that one.
Thank you, thank
So
you.
the next question is going to be your top three favorite players. So they could be female, male, current, retired, whatever.
Top three. I love James Harden so, so, so much. I love
Mm,
him. So he's number one for sure. Um, I like Arika Ogunbowale a lot.
that's what Chanel said.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I love her. And number three, hmm, I really like not Damian Lillard. What's his name? Um, Donovan Mitchell.
Mm,
I like Donovan Mitchell a lot. When he plays, I kind of feel like he's just like skating. Like,
hmm.
he's so smooth. And I'm a 5'9" guard, so those players are all kind of within reach of me.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, Donovan Mitchell for sure.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. Those are three great players. So yeah. So next one. So let's talk about, like your season. So I know you're kind of injured right now and stuff like that.
Mm.
So just playing in general, what was your go-to move? I know everybody has
Ooh.
like kind of move that always works.
As I've gotten older, I think I've gone through like seasons of my life, and I'm getting older now. I hate to say that out loud, but when I was like younger and I was like playing, they tell you like stay low, like make all your moves low. When I was younger, in and out cross got them every time. I think I've
Mm,
made like multiple people fall with that in AA tournaments and stuff. Like at the park. And then once my knees started to like ache a little bit, I was started to get busy with the AI crossover.
mm,
And that was like my go-to, like probably the whole second half of my college career. Now that my knees really hurt, um, my go-to is probably just an over-the-top cross hesitation. Or you can actually know, actually, she can confirm this. I have like this hezzy jab that I use all the time. So from my highlights from Costa Rica, that's probably like half my highlight. It's just this heavy jab that I'm just blowing by people with. And after the game, Chanel would be like, dude, you get like three of those a game. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know. Just just always go for it. And it's so easy to get to. Like I don't even have to really dribble. And when you're growing up, they tell you like if you play 1-on-1, you should play with 3 to 4 dribbles max.
hmm
So if anybody wants to take that move, it get 2 dribbles max, and you'll be at the basket for layup.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna need to watch that film study a little bit. Yeah, but I can relate, especially on the in and out cross. That's one of my go-to moves. It's like a
Mhm.
no-brainer. Like, and it's so
Yeah.
underrated. They always shift this way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you're like the best one in your league. So like you're averaging like 50. So I'm sure the in and out cross, like it just go flying
Every
everywhere.
time. Yeah. Definitely. So I want you to describe to me your game in 3 words. Just three.
And three, um, that's physical. Three, I'll say physical, rigid. I wish I was smooth, but it's just not. I'm like really dorky and like
Mm-hmm.
um patient.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm very patient. I think a lot of that, like, um, I'm not super athletic. So like I don't jump super high. I'm not super quick. So I kind of just use that to my advantage. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fast. So I go really slow in a lot of things that I do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and with players that just like to run up and down all the time, like just being real patient. And if you watch the film, like I look like really dorky and unorthodox with the ball, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's proven to be efficient at every level I've been at. So I think actually, can I take one word out?
Mm-hmm.
I would put efficient in there. I'll
Efficient.
put
Okay.
efficient in there. Yeah,
That's good.
I think I'm very efficient.
Uh-huh. Especially in overseas basketball, efficiency is definitely something that is really good to have because I feel like my dad, he owns like the one of the men's teams right now, so you gotta get to
Oh, I
see
saw
like
that.
the
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
that is so cool.
Yeah, yeah. We just started this year, so got a few players coming in.
Did you guys get Jeffy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's playing for us right now.
Wow, that is
Uh-huh.
so awesome.
Hmm. So it's good. I kind of get to see firsthand how, like, the process. Some people are getting cut, some people are joining the team. You kind of get to see like their mentality. They're taking this for granted or they're taking advantage of this. So that's definitely something that I get to see. But efficiency, like you said, is a big part because we have a player who's never scored under 25 a game. It's kind of
Really,
efficient and consistent, yeah. But he has
that's
a
awesome.
talent like you said, he's not the fastest on the court. He kind of just stays on the block, but he can score on with three people like crowding around him on the block. So he's pretty efficient with that. So I think
He's a post
efficiency.
player.
Hmm. But he's not even that tall. Like he's maybe like six
Really.
three, maybe. I'm not sure.
Good night, baby. I love you. I'll see you later. You're welcome, baby. That's really cool,
Hmm.
actually. To average over 25 and like not an actual post player.
Hmm. Yeah, you should see. He has like a really good talent. But
Wow.
mhm,
I think that's really cool for you too, because not only are you seeing like the basketball part of it, but like you're seeing the business part of it too.
mhm,
Like sometimes like cutting people isn't fun. I'm assuming for your dad, but
yeah,
like if you want, like you got to make money. Like, you
mhm. You gotta
suck, you gotta
win. You
go.
gotta.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely get to see that from a different standpoint. And even like during these interviews, I get like input from players who've played in Greece or if they played like you
Oh
in
wow.
Italy, different places. So even I had one lady before, she played in Greece, she played in Mexico, all these different places. But she said she got cut her first season in Poland.
Oh
So,
man,
but then like 5 seasons later, she's playing in all these different places and she went back to Poland and was able to redeem herself because she's working hard and stuff like that. So
that's so dope.
mm-hmm.
Oh
So
wow. So you're getting all the knowledge firsthand.
mhm,
If
definitely.
you make any mistakes, we're gonna be so mad at you. No, I'm just playing.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of my goal, kind of just soaking up as much information as I can from
Mm,
all of the different places I can get them. So that's basically what it is.
wow.
So next question. So I'm putting you on the spot with this one because everybody has a different answer and there's a common answer with it too. So what's your favorite basketball movie?
Mm. I'm a sucker for a good romance movie, but now that I'm older, Love and Basketball is actually kind of trash. When you think about it, like she played her love of her life 1-on-1 and he like dunked on her. Like that's insane to me. Um, like that's crazy. So I really don't want to say that, but that is like my favorite movie. But I think Coach Carter is a top basketball movie for me.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, we all have like a joke with the love and basketball thing because that's everybody's like answer. Everybody wants to say love and basketball, and it's like classic answer for everybody. But you definitely have seen like different answers in that area too.
yeah, with age, I'm like that movie is actually like bad.
uh-huh.
Like from a woman's perspective, like I would hate to be Monica, really.
hmm Yeah,
I
yeah.
digress. But
I definitely
yeah.
understand. So you said Coach Carter. I'm gonna be honest, like I've never seen Coach Carter.
Really,
I'll have to watch it after this, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
what's your favorite basketball movie?
It's probably gonna be like Mike or something.
That's a
I
good pick. That's
either
a
like
classic.
Mike or White Men Can't Jump, but I like the new one. The new one's really good.
I didn't even know they had it.
It's like Jack Harlow is like the white guy, and then this other guy, I don't know his name, but there's a lot of people in the whole movie who are like influencers and stuff like that. It's
Okay.
pretty good.
So that'll be both of our assignments for the night. I'm gonna go watch White Men Can't Jump, and you have to go watch Coach Carter. I think
All
that's
right,
fair.
I got it. I got it. Let's do it. All right, next question. So, what's the coolest environment you've been able to play in?
Like setting.
Yeah.
Um, my freshman year, I played at Livingstone College, which is in the CIAA, which is a historically black conference. So like all the schools are black schools.
hmm
Um, and we played. I didn't play that much my freshman year, but we played Winston-Salem State, which is like one of the most popping HBCUs.
hmm
Um, and it was like packed. It was so live and animated. Like during timeouts, they had the music blasting, like they had the dance teams, the
Wow.
cheerleaders, the fraternities, the sororities all stepping. So like it's a timeout, and I'm like trying to pay attention. Like what's going on out there? You see like backflips, like the crowd. It was so crazy.
hmm
Um, I think that's number one for sure. And number two would be my first game in Costa Rica.
Mm.
We played gold at their place.
Oh yeah.
And I got there it was the very first game of the season, and their gym isn't too big,
hmm
but for the size of their gym, I don't think there was an open seat in the place.
hmm
Um, and I really love playing against like hostile crowds. I don't know, I'm really competitive. Like I grew up playing on the street and stuff, so like I
hmm
love those atmospheres. It like fuels me, and it's so
Uh-huh.
much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I love playing in that gym too because like even for like my age group, like there's so many people in the stands and they all have like
really.
drums and horns and flags and like
Yeah, like it was crazy, and I didn't know Costa Ricans got down like that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, you guys, because I had got there I think a couple of days early, and when I first got there, our I played for San Ramon. Our men's team was like in playoffs or something.
Mhm.
So my host family had took me to the game, and it was like a sold out arena. Like we were like sitting courtside, and it felt like I guess like a Costa Rican NBA game equivalency.
Mhm.
I don't know. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, wow, like I hope the turnout is like similar for the women. And that first goal game, they showed out. It was crazy. And my
Mhm.
Spanish isn't too great, but I just know they were taunting me in the crowd. But I
Mhm.
loved it anyway. It
Yeah,
was
you're
great.
definitely gonna get that. Yeah, but I think like just because me, I know you as well, but like being a competitor, I like playing in those environments, but once you get the win in the crowd kind of like goes
Yeah, it just dies
down.
down.
It's
It's like,
like
where'd you guys go? What's up?
yeah. Yeah, but I think it's because the school that it's at, Seminario, like
Mm,
is like a high school that a lot of people it's like been there for a while. So like people's
really?
moms went there, their dads, like yeah, a lot of people went to that school and still like play
Oh,
on like adult leagues and stuff like that.
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, so it's like a whole kind of
Okay.
family. hmm
Wow.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
you. You got all the info. You've been there a while.
A little bit. Actually, like in about an hour and a half, I think my dad's gonna go up there and play right now. So in a little
Oh,
men's league. So
you guys are living a dream.
yeah, that's how it is. So the next
Mhm.
question is, I know you said you want to, keep playing overseas and stuff. Do you have like a dream location that you would want to play a season in? And if so, then what would it be?
Ooh, yes. I want to play in Africa, like so
Mm-hmm.
bad. Like I want to go to like Senegal or Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that would just be so awesome. Um, a girl that the one I said got drafted from
Mm-hmm.
Rochester. She went to the University of Buffalo. She played in Senegal, I think maybe last season. And she just looked like she was having the time of her life. She was getting her braids done for like $15. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah,
so
and
I think that would be awesome. And I know you said you interviewed somebody who played in like Greece. That sounds amazing.
yeah, she said that she would definitely live there, like just because,
Wow.
like, despite basketball, like, she definitely lived there. So that's pretty awesome too.
That sounds
And
like a dream, honestly. Like you just
yeah,
wake up and you live in Greece. Like,
mm-hmm.
oh,
All because of basketball. I mean,
yeah,
that's
you'd
how
be
she got
surprised.
there.
Like, yeah, you'd be surprised where basketball can take you.
hmm Definitely. And like before we considered moving here to Costa Rica, we were gonna move to Ghana, Accra in Ghana.
No way.
Yeah, but it's a
That would
little
have been awesome.
definitely. Probably would have been better basketball wise. I don't know exactly how it is, but I know there's like African leagues and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I think it may have been a little more competitive
just
for you.
yeah. hmm
Um,
Yeah, a little more
wow.
girls who look like me on the team.
Yeah, I think that's what I was really getting at.
Yeah. Yeah, but we just ended up coming here because it's closer to the States, like 3 hours flight from like
mm,
Miami. So you're not too far, family and stuff like that.
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think that's a good place. I need to research the leagues because I haven't really watched like the leagues in Africa, women's and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, it's funny because I'm getting to the age where like I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm not too much concerned about the money and the pay anymore. Like
hmm
I just want to experience great places. So
hmm
like if it's like a lower league and I get to live in Greece for free and get free meals and
hmm
like I just go walk to the beach after games, like
yeah, it's a
I'm
lifestyle.
not
It's
mad at it. Yeah, because
hmm
afterwards I essentially want to like do like you and your dad did, just leave America. So
hmm
and like just end up coaching somewhere out the country.
hmm
So, of course I want to play high level basketball and compete, but I think I'm at the point where like I just want to experience the world. There's so much the world has to offer. Um, and to
Hmm.
just see it because I can put the ball in the hoop, I think that's freaking
Definitely.
amazing.
Hmm. And it's definitely underrated, I think, like especially for women. Like everyone wants to go D1 and then that's it. Like that's their goal. Like, come on, like there's more than that. More than the
Literally.
WNBA. Like people are getting cut and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of politics and just everything that comes with living in America. So I mean, I think overseas should be like the best option for like anybody who takes basketball seriously.
I mean, let me tell it, it should be the only option really, because like you said, WNBA players go overseas like in their
Hmm.
off season. That's where the money is.
Hmm.
And like you just realize how much bigger the world is than what we make it out to be. When I was
Hmm.
in Europe playing in Italy, a lot of them didn't like Americans, especially like black women, because they think Americans are like dumb and like small minded.
Hmm.
And the more I like started to engage with my teammates and like talk to them, I ended up learning a lot of Italian while I was out there. Don't ask me to speak it now because it's been 2+ years. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as they would like talk about stuff, I realized I had no idea what was going on at all. Like I realized the stuff they were trying to convey to me, I'm like, do I need to go back to school? I'm like, I can see why you guys don't like us that much. Makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah. And even like my dad says, like the US is like 5% of the world's population. Like there's so much out
Literally.
there. And especially with basketball, like you never know it, but there's basketball like everywhere. Like countries you never heard of. Like basketball's still like big there. So definitely like it can take you like the to the unthinkable really.
Like literally, because some of these places I've never heard of. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
cool, you live there for free.
Yep. So the next question I wanted to ask you was like for your position and everything, what do you think sets you apart from other people like that play your position?
Well, recently being thrown into a point guard position, I'm gonna pass on that one. Um, but as a guard overall, um, I think my patience, um, and my unexpected quickness, because like I said, I'm not super athletic. I
Hmm.
can't touch the net or anything, but I have like really quick hands and I have a really high IQ. So like I get a lot of steals that you like wouldn't expect me to.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of like an underdog, really. Like, oh, you're not worried about her. And then like I jump the pass lane, they're like, oh shoot.
Hmm.
So it's usually kind of funny because like I think, like I said, I'm very rigid. So the way I play, you wouldn't think I get the stats that I do. Even watching
Hmm.
the film, like it's like, did she really get 30? Like, but you were at the All-Star game, so you saw
Yeah.
it. But like, if you were to get the film from the All-Star game, you'd be like, I don't know, looks suspicious.
Uh-huh.
So like me picking up full court and stuff, like I think it's just underrated because you wouldn't think that I had the ability to do that stuff. Like I've had coaches tell me like, oh, like I didn't know you could run that fast. And it's
Hmm.
like, yeah, like just,
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good thing to have as a basketball player. Kind of people overlooking you. It's like a gift and a curse, but I think it's pretty good because like if they overlook you, then you kind of have the advantage of dropping 30 or whatever the case
yeah.
may be. So they all slept
You
on me. That's your problem.
yeah, you get like 5 free points a game because they just like left you open.
Exactly. It's open. It's free money.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. So last question for the speed questions. If you didn't hoop, what sport would you go pro in?
go pro in. Oh my gosh, I probably wouldn't go pro in anything else. But I do think I would have been like a high D2 volleyball player
Volleyball,
for
okay.
sure. Yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
really, really good at volleyball, and I was really good at volleyball in high school. But because basketball, like I said, me and my brother started talking again. He started training me, so basketball really took over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but volleyball, like I think it's so much fun. I was
Mm-hmm.
actually like really good. I was like first team. I hold like the record for like most kills in a game. I have the guy
Wow.
like 17 in a game
Damn.
and or in a match. And I was playing in like 3-on-3 volleyball tournaments like outside of like school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like actually doing it like for real. So I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna play the basketball practice. I'm at my volleyball tournament. And they're like, what? I'm like, what? Like, I had got asked to like play in like summer leagues for volleyball and stuff. So I really love it like a lot.
Yeah.
Good to go pro? No, 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 absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I would have been a good D2 kid for volleyball for sure.
Yeah, I really like volleyball too. I used to play back in middle school. But the thing is, like, it's a fun sport to play, and it's definitely like kind of like a shock from basketball because you know your
Mm.
basketball practice, you're running, you're conditioning, you're doing this, doing that. And volleyball is kind of light. You might run around in a circle for a
Yeah,
little bit. I don't know how was for you, but then it's like, dang, why am I just standing here in this
yeah.
spot? Like, it's a little different, but it's really fun as far as like just the way it is in general, like playing.
It's definitely a shock because like their conditioning, like, because I would play with actual girls who played like club volleyball,
Hmm.
and our coach would be like, "Oh, like if we don't get it right, like we'll run," and they'd be like, "No," and then we'll end up running, and it'll be like the most easiest conditioning I've ever done in my life, and they're like so stressed about it. And I'm like, "Are you guys for real? Like
Yeah.
it's so easy."
But it definitely gives you an advantage. I'm probably gonna pick it up again next year. So
It's a great
definitely.
hobby outside of basketball,
Hmm. Yeah,
and it like helps you jump higher, like your quick twitch fibers and all that good stuff.
hmm yeah, I definitely can agree on that. So now we just have the bonus question. So I know you studied abroad in Italy and stuff like that. So what advice, based on your experience, can you give someone who's on the fence about studying abroad, and what kind of opportunities have you been able to gain?
Um, I would say if you're looking to study abroad, kind of go out there with intentions.
Hmm.
Like knowing, like if you do want, like I said, a girl got an opportunity to coach with the Cubs afterwards. Like if you know you want like coaching opportunities or you want to be like in the administrative board or whatever,
Hmm.
going out there with the mindset like, hey, I'm going here to network and not taking those opportunities for granted. And for me, when I first got to Europe, I struggled so bad. My first semester, I struggled so bad
Hmm.
because I didn't understand. That was my first time being out the country. Um, well, I live next to Canada, so I don't think that counts. Because me and my friends go to Canada all the time.
Hmm.
But that was my first time really being out the country, and I didn't understand that I wasn't in America. Um, so like their culture is entirely different. Like they walk everywhere. Like
Hmm.
traffic is crazy. If you don't speak Italian, they get mad at you because you're not trying to speak Italian. Um, you have to take the bus everywhere, the train, and like I live in Buffalo, so I drive everywhere.
Hmm.
Um, and I just like refuse to adapt to European culture because I'm like this is an American. So like when I first got there, I was like looking for hamburgers and like ice
Hmm.
cream, and that they don't sell that because like
Yeah.
it's Italy. And once I really got it through my mind, like, hey, I'm in Italy, like they eat pasta and they drink wine, that's their culture.
Hmm.
Then it was like, okay. And it made things way easier. Once I was like, you know what? Okay, I have to take the bus. I was like walking like 30 minutes to go live because I just refused to learn the bus schedule.
Hmm.
Um, and that's so dumb looking back on it. Like, dude, just learn the bus schedule.
Hmm.
But once I learned it, it made life so much easier. Learning how to take the train and learning like all the artifacts around me, learning that like they eat a lot of carbs and they walk it off and they eat gelato instead of ice cream.
Hmm.
And just knowing those differences helped me mentally like adjust like, hey, you're not in America anymore. You're in Europe. And
Hmm.
this is what Europeans do. Like what they say, like I was actually in Rome, but they say like when in Rome, do what the Romans do. Um,
Hmm.
so once I learned that, like everything was like amazing. So my biggest advice would be to like not what's the word? Like just buy into the culture.
Uh-huh.
Don't try to
Embrace
go
it.
there like yeah, embrace where you're at. Like
Hmm.
you're in Costa Rica, learn Spanish. If you're in Italy, learn Italian. And you don't have to be like super fluent, but like really immerse yourself in it. Like it's an
Hmm.
opportunity, it's an experience. Like don't take it for granted. And I really fumbled that when I first got there because nobody explained it to me.
Hmm.
So I was in stores like, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" And they're like, "American, no, no, no." And I'm like, oh.
Wow, that's
But
definitely some good advice. So keep
yeah,
going.
but once they see that you're even trying, like hablas
Mhm.
italiano? Like, they know you're American because we have American accents, but they're more willing to try to help you
Mhm.
because you try to learn their culture.
Yeah, you definitely see that even here in Costa Rica, and I feel like every country you go to, like if you're embracing the culture, they're gonna like kind of embrace you and like kind of accept you more, unless you go there with like American mindset, like oh you do this, you speak my language, like you're not in
Yeah.
America, it's not your country, like definitely, I definitely see that. That's really
And I
good
think that's
advice.
so like duh, like, but
Mhm.
I think I was 21 or 20, maybe like 23 when I was over there.
Mhm.
And I literally had no idea. Like, so somebody was like, well, you're in Italy, Kenetria, like, learn Italian. And I was like, it's a good idea. Never
Yeah.
thought of that.
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
definitely good advice that I'm definitely gonna take for myself too. If I end up studying abroad or even just playing or whatever, I think that's really good because especially living here, I kind of have to do that anyways.
Mhm.
But yeah, thank you. So again, I want to thank you for joining the podcast. That was the last question. I definitely wish you a speedy recovery on everything, and yeah, I wish you the best in your career and everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I
Of
was an
course.
honor, really. I'm like, wow, I get to be on a podcast. Oh my gosh, let me tell my mom.
Yes, of course.
And wishing you the best. I know you're doing like really big things. So like keep doing what you're doing. Like literally don't take your foot off the gas. I think
Mhm.
I told you this before I left Costa Rica. Like you're in the perfect position to get everything you want. And even if you don't know what you want yet, you're still in position to get it.
Uh-huh.
Like you have your dad who's literally like building an empire around you. It looks like you're not taking anything for granted, but just don't take any of that for granted. Like I said, learning the business aspect of it, watching them make cuts. And I see like your film, like you're playing with boys and like you're killing all the girls in your league. So
Mhm.
like you're really doing your thing. So shout out to you and do not let up at all.
Thank you. I'm definitely gonna take that and not let up, like you said. So I appreciate that a lot. All
Of
right.
course. And don't forget to watch Coach Carter tonight for real.
Okay, yeah. I'm definitely gonna do that. Coach Carter. Coach Carter. And you
For
gotta
like
watch.
tomorrow afternoon. Yeah. White men can't jump the new one. And when I
Hmm.
text you tomorrow afternoon, like, okay, like eyes emoji,
How
what's
is
going on?
it? Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna do that. All right.
Uh,
Well,
Perfect. Tell your
thanks.
dad I said hi.
Okay.
I don't know if he told you, like we ended up he went to Livingstone. He went to the same school I went to.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wow, like it's such a small world.
Definitely.
And I'm like, I wish I'd have got a chance to train with him before I left. But
Hmm. It's so
like,
far, Saramon.
oh, don't get me started. It was,
It's like jungle over there.
yeah. And then I'm like, because I think Lily like lived around the corner, and like she's
Hmm.
like, yeah, I have a trainer, and I'm like, where did you find a trainer? What is going on?
Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah.
once I met him, I'm like, oh my gosh! But I met him at the All-Star game, so
Hmm.
at that point, it was like a week left in the season.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
Next time. Maybe
maybe next
next
time.
time.
Yeah,
Yep.
next time around. If I'm ever in Costa Rica, I will be giving you guys a call.
Hmm. For sure, for sure. We'll definitely be here.